Have you ever seen a player hyped as the next big thing, only to watch their career spiral into disappointment? Antony, once heralded as a promising star at Ajax, now finds himself in a whirlwind of controversies and underwhelming performances at Manchester United. Let's uncover what went wrong in Antony's career and whether there's any hope left for him to rise again. It was a tense moment at Old Trafford. Manchester United and Arsenal were locked in a goalless draw deep into the second half. Manager Erik Ten Hag glanced at his bench and called on Antony, a player many hoped would reignite the spark that United desperately needed. But as Antony stepped onto the pitch, his expression was a mix of determination and unease.
Wait, what was that?
The Antony we see now is a far cry from the player who shone so brightly at Ajax. Nicknamed Antony Prime 2008 for his flair and skill, he's become the punchline to jokes. Critics now mock him as Antony 007, 0 goals, 0 assists, and 7 unnecessary spins per match. It's a tragic decline for a player once seen as the cornerstone of Erik Ten Hag's Manchester United rebuild. Rewind to the summer of 2021. Antony was captivating fans in the Eredivisie, standing out as a key figure in Ajax's attack. His dazzling dribbling left defenders in knots. His left foot proved to be a lethal weapon, and his consistent performances earned him accolades, including a Player of the Month award. Ajax thrived under Erik Ten Hag's leadership, and Antony was at the heart of their success, contributing crucial goals and assists that cemented his status as one of Europe's rising stars. By 2022, Manchester United, desperate to reclaim their former glory, turned to Ten Hag, believing his tactical brilliance could revive the club. Naturally, Ten Hag sought to reunite with one of his brightest talents from Ajax. United splashed out 95 million euros to secure Antony's signature, making him their second most expensive signing ever, behind Paul Pogba. The price tag brought immense pressure, but it also carried a wave of expectation that Antony might be the player to help United regain their dominance. Antony's Premier League debut against Arsenal was nothing short of electric. He announced himself to the Old Trafford faithful with a stunning goal, celebrating in style with his trademark flair. The stadium buzzed with excitement, and for a brief moment, it seemed like Manchester United had struck gold. Fans believed they were witnessing the start of something special. He built on that promising debut with more impressive performances, scoring memorable goals against Manchester City and Everton.
Antony 落實突攻，波สุดสวยครับตีไข่แตกในกองดัง
These early strikes earned him a reputation as a player who could deliver on the big stage, and his confident displays raised expectations even higher. However, cracks began to emerge. His heavy reliance on his left foot quickly became a glaring weakness, making his game predictable for Premier League defenders. Critics began to label him a one-dimensional player, and Erik Ten Hag's lofty comparison to Arjen Robben started to lose its credibility. Antony's early spark began to fade, leaving fans wondering if the hype was justified. Then came the spin. In a Europa League match against Sheriff, Antony attempted a flashy 360-degree turn, but it had absolutely no impact on the game. The move quickly went viral, but for all the wrong reasons. Fans, pundits, and former players alike mocked the move, with Manchester United legend Paul Scholes describing it as ridiculous and nonsense. Scholes questioned why Antony had performed the move, noting that it lacked any real purpose or creativity, especially as the game was still tied at 0-0. In response, Antony took to social media to defend himself, describing his style of play as art, insisting that it was part of what made him unique. However, the once promising artistry seemed to fade as his performances on the pitch continued to decline. His dribbling success rate dropped drastically to just 44%, a significant fall from the 60% success rate he enjoyed at Ajax. As the season wore on, goals became an increasingly rare sight for Antony. Between April 2023 and April 2024, he went a full year without scoring a single goal in the Premier League, which was a major disappointment for a player with such high expectations. His rare highlight during this period was a tribute to Pelé, but rather than feeling like a celebration of success, it only highlighted the contrast between the legend's achievements and Antony's ongoing struggles. Tributes like these are usually reserved for players who are thriving, not those trying to rediscover their form. Antony's troubles extended beyond the football pitch, with allegations of domestic violence from his ex-girlfriend and 2 other women casting a heavy shadow over his career. The accusations, which surfaced in mid-2023, sent shockwaves through the footballing world and placed him under intense public and media scrutiny. While Brazilian authorities ultimately declined to press charges, due to a lack of sufficient evidence, investigations in England are still ongoing, leaving his situation unresolved. These allegations further strained his already fragile relationship with Manchester United, creating tension within the club and dividing the fan base. Many supporters began questioning his place in the team, while others expressed frustration at the negative spotlight the controversy brought to an already turbulent season for the club. Frustration began to boil over in Antony's performances and interactions on the pitch. Tensions flared as he clashed not only with opponents, but also with teammates, including Bruno Fernandes, in several heated moments. These signs of unrest pointed to deeper issues, both on and off the field. Then came one of the most humiliating instances of his time at United. In a match against a lesser opponent, Erik Ten Hag brought him on for just 30 seconds at the end of the game, a decision that felt like a slap in the face, especially given it was on Antony's birthday. The brief, almost symbolic appearance seemed to signal that the player's confidence was in tatters, and the relationship between him and the coach had reached a breaking point. When you look at his stats, they tell a grim story. 87 appearances, 12 goals, and just 5 assists across 2 years. For a €95 million signing, these numbers are far from what was expected. In fact, they tell a tale of underachievement and disappointment. While some might argue that factors beyond his control played a role, it's hard to deny that Manchester United have, at least in part, overpaid for a player who has yet to justify his hefty price tag. At just 24 years old, Antony's career is now at a crossroads. Once considered one of the most promising talents in European football, his market value has dropped dramatically to just €20 million, a stark contrast to the €95 million Manchester United paid for him. The whispers of a potential move to Flamengo have surfaced, with rumors suggesting that the Brazilian club could offer him a lifeline, but for now he finds himself warming the bench at United, a far cry from the player he once was. Antony's story is one of immense potential, but it's one that has been weighed down by unrealistic expectations, off-field controversies, and the glaring shortcomings in his game. He arrived at Manchester United with the promise of being a game changer, but as time has passed, that promise seems more distant with each passing day. Whether he can find a way to turn things around and reclaim his former glory, or whether he will fade further into obscurity, is a question that will define the next chapter of his career. Only time will tell if Antony can escape this downward spiral, or if he will become another cautionary tale of talent wasted under pressure.